question is to the Attorney General. Last week, we all heard of the heartbreaking tragedy that struck the Ottawa Valley, where 3 women were senselessly and brutally murdered. Basil Borutsky now faces 3 counts of first-degree murder. Sadly, it was widely known that the accused has a history of assault and harassment convictions. In December 2014, Mr. Borutsky refused to sign an order to stay away from one of his victims. This should have raised a red flag about his pattern of violence and his unwillingness to cooperate with the authorities who set those very parameters. Can the minister tell the House just how many offenders she has released in spite of their refusal to sign their probation orders?
Mr. Speaker, I cannot answer that question. First of all, let me offer my deepest sympathy to the victim families. And, you know, domestic violence, Mr. Speaker, it's something that we take very, very seriously. The Premier has asked us, you know, to all get together, all the ministry responsible was an input in this very unfortunate situation, to get together and to develop a program that will help to address this situation. And we have a program, the PAR program is one of them, that try to address this situation, and it's ordered by the court, and they have to follow this program, and we are in a process of reevaluating. Is the program serving the cause that they need to serve? So, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Liberal government always assures Ontarians that their safety would never be jeopardized. Last year, the Liberal government cut the budget to the Victims' Crisis Assistance and Referral Service, and now the Partner Assault Response Program has been cut, which the minister just referred to. In Renfrew County, there's actually only one single probation officer who visits the area once a week. He is very overworked. The Liberal government seems far too comfortable with leaving survivors of assault in precarious and violent conditions. Shameful. Mr. Speaker, this government needs to take a real hard look at what happened to those women. How can the Attorney General assure Ontarians that offenders, especially those with a history of violence, will be more closely monitored?
I'll redirect the question to the Minister of Women Issues.
Thank you.
Minister responsible for women's issues.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm glad that this question has been raised. Unfortunately, it was a terrible tragedy, and both the Premier's office and myself did reach out to the Executive Director of the Sexual Assault Centre in Renfrew County. And we thanked her for her presentation recently at our permanent roundtable on violence against women. And as I mentioned in yesterday's question period, the Women's Directorate has provided a number of significant investments to raise awareness of domestic violence and support victims. I'll also mention today that the Ministry of Health is investing over $1.1 million a year for the next 3 years in hospital-based sexual assault and domestic violence treatment centres, very focused on counselling. And this year we're making legislative changes to allow women to break residential leases when fleeing domestic violence.
Thank you.
And there are other investments to follow. Thank you.
Thank you.